real deal. When you can present shit like that, we'll talk.
That is the standard to get into Team Real Deal.
That is a standard right there. That was quite awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Survivor Series. I'll let you get started here while I tend to business.
Team Miz of The Miz and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre and Sheamus and Jack Swagger versus Team Morrison of John Morrison and Evan Bourne and Shelton Benjamin and Matt Hardy and Finlay. Do we need to recap every single finish in these things?
You've already put me to sleep. Let me talk a little bit about this match right here, and then we'll move on. We don't have to do every single stupid. We just talk about the main moments, such as Scott Armstrong getting kneed in the back of the head by clumsy Sheamus and getting a concussion, the highlight of which was when he fell down in the fetal position and raised the dreaded X sign for himself. So, yeah, ended up with...
I thought the highlight was that we have all seen when there's a ref bump in a match, like in WrestleMania, for example, Undertaker versus Edge. I think that was the match. It was in Florida, but there was a ref bump, and the ref was basically knocked out cold. And to get a second referee in, they had to have Charles Robinson run the length of the ramp as fast as he possibly could, which was still a good 15 seconds. It was a long run he made. This time, a ref was legitimately knocked out. They had no idea it was coming, and yet they were still prepared with another referee in seconds.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
Yeah. Came down to Morrison, Drew, Miz, and Sheamus, so it was 3-on-1. And Morrison made a comeback, knocked out Miz and Drew, and then Sheamus caught him on a springboard and hit the Razor's Edge for the pin. And good match. And at the time I wrote, I hope it leads to something for the winners. And it sure as shit led to something for Sheamus.
Indeed.
So good for him.
And not only did the three young guys win at the end, but I believe they had all the eliminations for their team, and they all got at least one. So they all got to look good, and not a great wrestling match for anything, but it accomplished what it set out to, which is make these three guys look good.
I wrote, Christian, MVP, Truth, Mark Henry, and Kofi all at a meeting, where after much discussion, the Black Brothers accepted the white guy into the fold. At which point, someone on the board said, that's not what happened. Well, what happened, Vince?
I wrote, there is a horrible, in all caps, skit involving Christian and his black friends. That's all I wrote. This sucked. I don't care more specifically how to describe it.
Universally, everyone has agreed that this
There was a wretched segment
sucked.
involving Christian and the other members of his team who happened to be black.
Big Dave against Ray. I thought this was awesome it was only 6 minutes, but for 6 minutes it was great. Ray ran wild on Dave and beat the holy hell out of him, and Dave bumped around like Ray weighed 800 pounds,
yes,
which was something else, sold for him like a motherfucker, and finally got his knee up on a splash, and then destroyed Ray with a spine buster and a series of power bombs. Place went absolutely nuts for Dave, since he lives in Washington, D.C., and that's where the pay-per-view was. And they did the old ref stoppage finish, which I thought was awesome, because once you establish that the ref can stop a match if a guy's been beaten too badly, you've got a brand new moment in matches in which there is great drama. Because will the ref stop the match? Will the ref not stop the match? Who knows?
They could have, in Dave versus Undertaker, Dave can be kicking the Undertaker's ass and hit a powerbomb, and the ref might suddenly jump in the middle and tease waving it off, and then Taker can shove him aside or something.
There's a lot of different ways you can go here to build drama.
You've talked before about how Ray's been getting booed since his suspension, and I've kind of disagreed with you, but there's a point in here where Eddie went to go up to the top rope, and before he Ray did the Eddie Guerrero shoulder wiggle, and everyone booed. So people are tired of seeing the Eddie Guerrero stuff in the Rey Mysterio Dave Bautista feud, so hopefully they will just let it lie.
Orton did a promo and gave his team a pep talk, which wasn't very peppy.
Really, he just berated them.
Yeah.
It was a Tim Flowers pep talk, really.
It really was. So then Punk got lippy. Everyone told him to shut up. Basically, he said that Orton was telling them, I expect you guys to be champions tonight. And then Punk said, well, we expect you not to have been humiliated by Kobe Kingston. Punk, Regal, Legacy, and Orton against Kofi, Mark Henry, MVP, R-Truth, and Christian. 3 3/4 stars. This match ruled. And I want to see Orton and Christian in a feud. I think it would be awesome. Came down to Kofi versus Punk and Orton. Orton immediately bailed outside, not wanting anything to do with this feller here. And Punk and Kofi worked for about 6 minutes together. They just had a straight singles match. And finally, Punk, Orton distracted Kofi. Punk rolled him up. Kofi reversed it, got the pin. Orton immediately hit the ring to blindside him. And Kofi was waiting and hit his wacky kick for the pinfall, and the place went crazy. It was an awesome finish. I was gobsmacked that they did this right. And we were watching at Craig's with 4 or 5 people there, and there was actually applause. There was applause at this fucking finish. That is how flabbergasted everybody was that they did this right. So, way to go, WWE.
My computer just had a meltdown. I'm currently looking at a blue screen.
I'm trying to think of the last time there was applause when we were watching a pay-per-view for something.
I do remember this match got really, really awesome when it came down to the tag match of Punk and Orton versus Christian and Kofi. And people were totally into it when it was just Christian and Orton. They worked together well. It was something new. People were very excited when Christian almost got the win with the Unprettier, or whatever the hell they call it now, the kill switch. And then Orton, of course, hit the RKO and pinned him. And then Orton being afraid to get in the ring with Kofi was great. Kofi versus Punk was fun for a while, and then he got the roll up and then instantly hit the kick for the win. And yes, as noted, they could not have done this any better. And it was perfect.
Undertaker, Jericho, and Big Show. This was not perfect. I gave it a 1.5 stars. I read Dave's report and it said, good match. And I thought, not sure what match he was watching. I did not see a good match. I saw a good match ruined by the Big Show. God bless the guy. His knee is all fucked up and he can't move. But he couldn't do a thing here. He dragged the match down. It was just long, and stuff happened. And finally, Jericho, I guess, what happened? Show gave Jericho the knockout punch, and then signaled for the choke slam on Taker, and Taker turned it into the Gogoplata for the submission. And finish was good. The rest of it, lame.
Well, my computer's dead. That sucks.
How did your computer die? Did you restart it?
I was looking at my notes, and suddenly I was looking at a blue screen saying there was an error in Windows, and it has been shut down. Please restart. And now I'm trying to restart, and I don't know what it's doing, but it's a black screen with white letters that keeps reloading itself over and over again. So it's certainly not going to be working by the time this show is done. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. So, Show versus Jericho versus Undertaker.
Wait a second. I want you to fix this computer on air.
All right. There's nothing to fix. There's no... Here's what's happening.
Hold on. Let the computer guy come over and deal with this problem.
Okay.
Let me see that.
Want me to read what it says?
Does it just keep doing that over and over again?
It does that over and over again.
Where's the shut off button?
That one right there. Brian, the computer guy, is restarting the laptop. He shut it down.
Let it breathe for a while.
We're letting it breathe for a while, he says.
Let's see if it does it again. Rebooting, everybody.
It's doing... That's what it did last time. It says Intel UNDI PXE-2.0, build 082, copyright 97 to 2000 Intel Corporation. For Realtek RTL 8139X, 8130, 810X, PCI Fast Ethernet Controller V2.13. It does this over and over. The last message...
Media test failure, check cable. Let's see what we got here.
This is more exciting than the Jericho Show Undertaker match.
Guaranteed.
Show was...
That's what we're demonstrating here.
I do recall Show being on one leg, which was funny because he was not on SmackDown, so I don't know what happened between here and there. But I also recall Jericho going for a tombstone on the Undertaker, and of course Taker reversing it. And then Big Show punched the Undertaker in the face through Jericho's legs. That was great. And then in the end, all that really matters is Taker pinned Jericho, so he is still champion. And that was that.
Let's see here. Well, it appears to have a lot of... it's all over Google here. All right. I keep getting... what does this say here? Most positive that you have a bad hard drive. Uh-oh. PXE means pre-boot execution environment. You see this message when the laptop trying to boot from a remote server using the network card. Let's see if there's a solution here. Now, when the hard drive has failed, the laptop cannot detect it, tries to boot from the next available device, the network card. Your laptop is not configured to boot from a remote server using the network card. That's why you're getting this error. You have to replace the hard drive and reinstall the operating system.
No buys.
That's just one guy's opinion. It's a Toshiba, I presume.
This is a Compaq.
Oh, Compaq. Check Compaq. Yep, we're doing this all in the air, everybody. Who knows? Someone listening to this right now may have a similar problem.
Honestly, I suspect there are a couple dozen people listening to this thinking what idiots we are. And there's probably like a button I need to push.
Or they're probably emailing you right now saying, Vince, don't kill yourself. It's going to be okay.
Oddly enough, this doesn't bother me.
Really?
You know why?
Because you only use it for impact?
No, I actually use it for a lot.
Oh.
But this is not my fault.
That's true.
Do anything to make this happen.
That's true.
When I lose my phone...
you bought a $200 laptop.
I am out perhaps $200.
Well, you just got to put a new hard drive in there. I don't know how much
That's probably...
All right, let's keep going here, and I'll keep investigating as we talk.
I'll just leave this running in front of me here.
Layla, Michelle, Alicia, Beth, and Jillian. It's just absurd that this happened. It just all of a sudden just went blue.
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't do anything. I didn't hit a button. I wasn't trying to start a program. I was looking there reading my notes, and suddenly they were gone.
Well, that's what you get for having to watch The Big Show, Undertaker, and Jericho in a three-way.
Then why did it happen to you?
It crashed your laptop. All right, anyway, this women's match here. I actually timed this because I thought for sure we'd have an elimination match that was over in 5 minutes. Nope. Lasted 10. Came down to Michelle, Mickey, and Melina. Let's think about this for a while. One heel against two baby faces. First off, that's kind of fucked up. So then, Michelle is beating the crap out of Mickie James, and Melina is standing on the apron. And I thought, that's kind of backwards, you'd think. So, Mickie finally gets hot tagged to Melina. Melina runs wild and pins Michelle with the code red. So, after the entire deal on Friday with Mickie James and Layla and Michelle, neither Layla nor Michelle were pinned by Mickie James in this match.
No. Or even beaten.
No.
She hit a move and then Melina pinned her.
Nope.
No, in fact, they really barely mentioned it. They talked about it for a while in commentary. Lawler apparently thought it was funny. Cole didn't. Lawler may be the only one. But, this was the deal. It was mostly Michelle working over Mickie James for a while, and then Melina getting to make the comeback because, I don't know, who cares about Melina? Why is Melina pinning Michelle? What does that lead to? So this accomplished nothing. It was not particularly entertaining.
I was going to email you this possible solution here, but your computer ain't working, so...
What's this possible solution? Is it complicated? Can you read it right now?
Actually, hold on. Oh. Okay, in order to PXE boot... Right, what is it? Why am I doing this on the air? I don't understand this
idea,
at all.
But
there was a potential solution, but... oh, well.
Doesn't cut your mustard? Or
worry about that later. I don't understand it.
I see.
I'm not a computer guy, everybody.
Neither am I.
So then we had the main event, which was Cena, Triple H, and Shawn. Can't believe this happened on the air, actually. I can, but I can't. Cena, Triple H, and Shawn for the WWE title. This was interesting in that the build for this was nothing but goofy comedy. Just one. I can hear that fan in my headphones, too, is the amazing thing.
And the laptop?
Yeah.
Should I shut it down?
Move it away from the mic a little bit.
It's fucking 6 feet
Oh, it
from
is
the
way
mic.
down there. Are you drinking?
I'm drinking water.
Oh. Yeah, they build this up with nothing but goofy comedy. And then they do the match, and it's like deadly serious from bell to bell. And then on Raw the next night, it's back to goofy comedy again. Amazes me. Like, I guess in a way, if you're a person that buys all the pay-per-views, if you're one of the stupid 110,000 that buys every single WWE pay-per-view, then at least you get rewarded every time. But for people that don't, there's absolutely no reason to buy these pay-per-views. There's absolutely no reason to know that you missed awesome matches on this pay-per-view.
We used to talk about this with TNA all the time.
Yeah.
Back when TNA had awesome pay-per-views every month. And then they would have shitty TV shows still. And we would talk about, there are probably wrestling fans out there who would like these pay-per-views, but they never see them because they see the shitty TV show and they don't buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah, you look at Impact and it's like, there were 8 minutes of wrestling in the first hour.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, who the fuck would buy a pay-per-view when you get 8 minutes of wrestling in the first hour on television?
Right.
That's kind of an exaggeration.
And I said, even if you enjoy this show, if you happen to enjoy what Impact is, then if you bought the pay-per-view, you may be disappointed because you will not get Impact.
Yeah.
And that's what the story of this feud is, because the pre-match and post-match, the pre-match build and post-match resolution were completely different than the match itself. But it was a good match.
It was a good match. They did a whole bunch of deals at the finish. Cena hit the FU, too tired to cover. Shawn and Cena brawled, or both crawled to cover Hunter. Hunter kicked out. Bunch of finishes. Everybody hit a move on each other. And finally, Hunter went for the pedigree on Cena. Shawn super kicked Hunter. Cena gave Shawn the FU on Hunter for the pin. Somehow that reads pedigree. Not sure how that slipped past the censors here. And that was that. 3 3/4 stars. Good main event. Really good main event, actually. Yeah. But a good main event on a show that nobody purchased, I'm afraid.
Indeed. The other great spot was Shawn super kicked Cena, who took a big dramatic bump, and then Shawn super kicked Hunter, and in the process, Shawn fell out of the ring, and Hunter sold it, but he collapsed on top of Cena. And everyone thought that was it. They thought this was going to be the finish. And so when Cena kicked out, they were all big and happy. And that was dramatic. And other than that, Hunter sold a super kick forever, the initial super kick forever, and Shawn, it was basically a one-on-one with Cena and Shawn. And then Shawn got put through the table by Hunter, and it was Hunter versus Cena for a long time. And then they did all the three-way stuff at the end, and it worked. The advantage of having no clear direction is that it made any finish believable. So they believed Hunter would be about to pin Cena, and they also believed Cena could pin Hunter. So all the near falls were believable and had drama, and then Cena won at the end, and everyone went home happy, except I guess the DX fans.